Thank you so much for watching WRIF TV. Now, this interview is obviously with video, but I don't interview everybody on Zoom. That's why I put it on my Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast. We talk to rock artists from all over the genre. So check out Talkin' Rock with Meltdown wherever you get your podcasts. And now to today's video interview.
Good to see you, Gavin. How's things, man?
Pretty good, pretty full on, getting the most out of life.
Yeah.
Having a wonderful time at home these couple of weeks, and I was in Europe. We did a bunch of festivals. They were amazing. Good to be back in that environment, and obviously this new single coming out, the record. It's always a nice feeling for me, when the record's done and it's printed and it's going out. It's like that's the end of a bit of a long process for me. Well, not long process, but you know what I mean. You go from silence to making a song and then presenting it to people and then playing it with the producer, then get everyone to, you know what I mean? The whole thing is like, I go from the silence to judging the gaps between the song, the silence between the record. So it's silence to silence with sound in between.
Right. It's funny you say, you know what I mean? Well, I don't know what you mean because I never put out a record, but I assume that at one point it's like, this is yours, and then when you release it, now it's everybody's.
Yeah, absolutely. But also the same difference when I write it in my studio and it's all mine and I got to take it in front of the committee. That is the band, the producer, then the label, management. I've got to please everybody. And if somebody's not pleased, they say, no, keep going, no, So it's there's that lovely moment where you just have the excitement of writing a song. Now I have the lovely moment of everyone agreed where we ended up, more or less. Everyone's on the same page, and the record's coming out. And obviously, the reaction so far has been pretty phenomenal for this song. So I'm good,
No, it is pretty cool. There's a little bit of a gap here, but it seems like this the new song is kind of like where the Kingdom left off.
Yeah, that I felt we struck a nerve of where we should be and what we should be doing, and it seemed wrong to do anything. I always thought, man, I should have just done 16 Stone over and over, just to switch the order, and instead of all this off, making live sound record with Steve Albini, more tricked out record, the size of things. It's just like, and so something about the Kingdom really felt right and musically right, and it connected with people and it connected with what's going on in the world. People like rock music, and I just thought, I ain't letting go of that one. I've got to, that's the life raft. I'm not letting go, So stay the same weird tunings and keep it all kind of very, very wide and ocean deep music, and then sing on top of it what's bothering me,
Yeah. Now, Art of Survival, talk about the title.
I think that everybody's been through so much, and that old adage people talk about, you never know, don't be quick to judge people, you don't know what they're going through. Everyone is going through something. Everyone has a crazy challenge that if you took the time out of your day, you would hear what that is. Corona made that worse for everyone. People obviously died. People lost their jobs. People lost their sort of support systems. People lost a lot, savings. And but somehow we have made it through to this point. That's not to disrespect anyone who really, who passed away and stuff. But what I mean is that it takes so much guts, truthfully, for everyone to go from one week to the next. I don't care what your line of work is. It's not easy unless you really cop out and don't care and, just live the safest life possible. And you know what I mean? You stay in some parameters, life doesn't touch you. I don't know how I don't even think that's possible. I think no matter who you are. So it's a sort of a universal title that goes to all of us. It's like a congratulations to everyone.
So everybody I've been talking to that's put out new music has a pandemic record. Is this yours?
Well, no, because that was more of the Kingdom, I think, probably. I don't really know. I mean, we're in it, but we're not in it. It's all over, but then everyone's getting COVID. Then people get COVID and they go, man, how long you had COVID? 15 minutes. You're fine. Yeah, absolutely fine. 12 minutes, no good, but 15 minutes, you're all good. So just the most recent record that we made, and what a great life to have. I'm so appreciative of that. My version of going to work is, I can crack a beer or whatever and then sit in the studio legitimately preparing for work. It's all good. It's not like, so I love making music so much, and it just still thrills me. When I put a song together and I find that, chords and melodies and the next section works, like, yeah, nothing makes me happier apart from my kids, maybe. That's it. Nothing else, because it's such a great achievement. And yet I've done it so many times. I think it's because the artistic streak is to think you can never do it again. Like, torture yourself. It's torture as well. Like, I'll never do it again. It's never going to work. It's terrible. And then something pops out, you go, oh, I like that. And then so you stop beating yourself up and you pursue that, and hopefully get a good song. It's just funny. And my best friend's living with me now, staying with us now for a few weeks. And he's always like, why you got to go through that process? He goes, of course you can write a song. Like, I wrote a song for his movie. He rang me on a Friday. He said, I got this movie, I got this song. It's like this bluesy thing. We can't clear it because they got no money, but can you write us a song like that? I was like, when do you need it for? He goes, yeah, well, maybe, next week or something like that. I was like, wow, okay. So then I saw my schedule was really tight with my own recording. I was like, damn, I better do that freaking song on Monday. So I did the song on the Monday, and I took the Waylon Jennings songs, the first thing, which had a 4 on the floor, and then I left it because I wasn't into that. I put the song down, and I was like, oh my God, I got it. And it's really pretty good. It's called Mr. Triggerfinger. And it's for his movie. I was really proud of it. And I gave it to him, and he goes, of course you can write it. I knew you could write it. I said, but it's not that easy. Yeah, he goes, well, I asked you on Friday, he gave it to me on Monday night. I was like, yeah, but we were just lucky that time. We were lucky. So I think it's a better attitude to have that, you're always like insecure about your ability, because it makes it a bit more adrenalized. The music's more adrenalized. But, because if I was just doing like really self-contented, like acoustic, mid-tempo, everything's so great. This is, it just sounded like, it'd just be like padding, but like cushion music.
Yeah, well, you're not cocky.
No.
That's why, right?
No, I don't. I never had that. I sometimes wish I was a bit more, but it's done me all right to like have a humble approach to writing songs and the magic of songs. The magic. When I hear other people writing great songs, I'm so impressed, and I think it's amazing. People impress me with songs when they get them right, and I just always like, man, I wish I would have wrote that, but that's such a cool thing. Why didn't I think of that? God damn. Someone with a really great lyric, a great melody, great intro. You're just like, oh, wow,
Yeah, there's only so many chords, I suppose, in the world. And sometimes you got to probably feel like everyone's played them. It's
8 notes. I'm thinking of the entire Western civilization of music is built on, very few notes. And it's just, think of it from Eric Satie to Megadeth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same notes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So you're also on a Seether track coming up. They redid What Would You Do? Talk about that. Do people reach out to you periodically to try to record stuff with you, or does that not happen a lot?
Well, it doesn't. It's not an everyday thing, and it's really fun when they do. You know what I mean? Especially like the track. So it's always a fun exercise. I like it because as a songwriter, it's like doing covers. That when you get into someone's vocal, and I had to study what Sean had written, and it's a really well written melodic track. It's it just is very, very well written. I mean, lyrically, it's very, he's down in the dumps. He's down in the dump. He's still down in the dumps, poor love. But it's a really well written track, and it's just fun to all the little things. I'm really respectful when I sing someone else's song. I think you can do anything with a cover, for example. When you do a cover, you can change the music. That's almost respectful to kind of give it a different flavor, but you just cannot mess with the melody, the vocal melody. When I hear people singing people's songs and they put an extra run in here or something like that, I could read this, that classic hit, I'm going to rewrite it for you and put a little whoa. And then I'm always like, don't do that. Why did John Lennon didn't put that on there? Prince did not do that. And I hate it when I was on The Voice. It just annoyed me so much when these singers would come along and rewrite someone's melody. You know, I think it's sacrilegious. You just can't. You can't. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. Maybe Cat Power can kind of intonate and do things with her covers that, okay, she can do it, Chan Marshall, but nobody else. The rest of us better stand in line and respect the vocal melody.
Yeah, it's like when somebody does a national anthem. That's kind of the way I feel, you know.
Oh, God's sake. Why do they keep rewriting it, like adding all the trills and frills? Like, no one needs that. The country's not built on that. That's just like froth. It's like your cappuccino. You don't get to the coffee for ages. It's like all that froth. Yeah, I was not a fan of that. When I did any music talent shows that I've been on the judging side or coaching side, I'm always like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. You know?
Yeah, when I told people on the internet I was going to be talking to you today, a lot of people wanted me to ask you about that No Covers show. That must have been pretty cool, not only to judge that, but then be with Alice and Lizzie and all that.
Yeah, it was amazing fun. It was, as always, it's the most fun is to getting to know the judges. So Tosin became a good friend of mine. Was an amazing guitar player and a really great person. And yeah, of course, I'd met Alice a little bit. Always funny when Alice Cooper says, hi, Gavin. You know, when Alice Cooper knowing you is a trip, by the way. You know what I mean? He's just like the lord of like that. And then talks about golf and is like the sweetest man in the world. You're like, what's going on? He's the only golfer with great eyeliner. And he's just an amazing man. And it's really fun to hear his perspective, you know, when he's talking about the bands or what he thinks. Fascinating. And Lizzie, you know, she's just a badass, fantastic singer, fantastic front person, and huge success. And they, you know, their record, their number one songs, they're phenomenal. And so I sat next to her, so it was a great getting to know her. And Joe, her boyfriend, was hanging out and taking the pictures all the time, so I got to spend a lot of time with him. So it was really fun. It was a really enjoyable experience. I hope they have another season.
Yeah, Lizzie and Alice are some of the nicest people I've had a chance to meet in this business, including yourself. Last time I saw you, even got me a beer and everything, so that was nice. That was pre-pandemic, I do believe.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. We can do it again.
Yeah, here in Detroit. Yeah, you're going to be coming through Detroit coming up here in the middle of August with Alice in Chains and Breaky Benjamin and you guys. That's going to be a fun show as well. Yeah,
that's a lot of songs and a lot of music that people will know, and I think that it's I think it's going to be really a great experience. I mean, it's just starting up next week, and originally we were going out with Breaking Benjamin, and then Breaking Benjamin kind of teamed up with Alice in Chains, and I was like, shoot, I thought we were going with them. And then they're like, hey, you guys want to come with us? And I was thinking, do I really want to play to 20,000 people a night who love songs and rock music? Okay, I'm in. Okay. So I think it's going to be really fun. And I do love the idea that it's really great in these hard times and people are coming through the pandemic, that if they come to that show, it's good bang for the buck. I think that's a fair, you know what I mean? Some things I saw some people have some trouble with it, some Springsteen ticket prices and whatever they justify, all that stuff. I don't know anything about that stuff, and I definitely know that we're not an expensive band to see, but I think that's a cool thing because it is hard for people. They come, they got the parking, and they got the beer, they got the tickets, they got the money. Yeah, it's like, so it feels good to be on a package that people can get a lot out of it. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing those bands too.
Yeah, one of my friends said they wanted $500 for like the top row seat in the stadium for, you know, Bruce. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, I just talked a few minutes ago about, you know, your kids and stuff. And you're one of the few guys I get a chance to talk to that's not only a rock star, but you're also like this cultural thing as well. So talk about the two different worlds.
Well, what do you mean exactly by cultural?
Well,
English.
you're pictured like, on in the side of the basketball court with all these other major celebrities, and then you're
Oh,
Gavin over here from Bush, and you're this cultural thing as well. I don't talk to many
yeah.
guys like that.
It's weird. I don't know. I sort of, I feel like a fixture. I feel like I'm not like uber crazy, like wow, Justin Bieber famous in any way, but I have been. And then you just have this sort of middle ground where there's just people help you wherever you go, or people know you, or people say hi. And it's a nice balance now. I feel like I think of myself like a working musician. I just feel like that. And then every now and again, I remember, oh yeah, sure, and I say hello to someone. So I think that I don't know, just it seems to go hand in hand. And now with a few other projects I've got going, there may be it may get more of that. So we'll see. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Thank you. That's a compliment. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't see many rock stars I interview, being followed around by the paparazzi with, pictures of you in the ocean and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you do.
Right. Yeah.
And with all your abs and stuff. And by the way,
all my abs.
Screw the abs. I mean, screw the abs.
The problem is some of those pictures, like, I don't know if they're there. If I knew they're there, I'd try and get the angle better. Try and sit there, like, inadvertently be like in a crunch pose, like, just relax, but looking like super. Like, I've had a couple where I've sat, I'm like, that's not fair to print that. That's patently a terrible angle. But, sometimes with those paparazzi, they either get the really amazing shots. We're like, okay, cool. I'm glad I didn't drink beer for 3 days because I, like, toned down a bit. Or they get like a really, like, they're just like us, the sandwiches fall as they eat them. You know what I mean? You're like,
yeah. Every time I see the picture, I'm like, that guy's got abs. Why can't I get abs? I'm on my Peloton playing hockey all the time. But anyways, final
Are you a hockey player?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You're a hockey player in Detroit. I knew, that I went to see the Red Wings a few times. I enjoy that. I like, yeah.
Yeah. Did you know any of those guys or no?
Well, I met them all, yeah, because I was friendly with Sergey.
Oh, sir, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and I met them all. Who was the captain? When I went to meet them all, who was the captain?
Steve Yzerman?
Yes. And I met him. And when I met all the guys, I'd seen them up close, and they've all got like this is like scarred up, like wow. And then they get like smacked in the face, and his eyes come out. And I go, oh my God, it's gonna be right. And he pops out, gets a quick stitch, comes back on, and these guys are made of steel. And I learned something from them when I went to see with Sergey when he took me back, and we hung out when he was over there, Detroit. We ended up hanging out a lot and friendly with him, and he's dating Anna Kournikova and all that stuff. And I learned the first time ever. I went to the back after the game, and there was a room full of like 30 bikes, and all the guys were on the bike doing the lactic acid reduction,
Yeah.
And I learned that. I nicked that from ever since. When you go through that strenuous workout, because I'm a big tennis player, that just you've really been 2, 3, 4 hours. You got to get on that bike, get rid of that lactic acid. 20 minutes, no resistance. That's all that is. You just otherwise next day, woo, on the bike. So I learned that from the Detroit Red Wings.
Well, final thing here for we'll let you go. You just mentioned it. Your other projects coming up. What else can you talk about?
Well, I have I've been trying to make this cooking show, this interview show for a while now, and I think I'm just doing the deal. So maybe a little premature to talk about, but should be recording that in November. So that's exciting to do that, and weird. And I'm I had a fashion label. Basically, a number of years ago, I tried to invent some jobs that I didn't have to leave town for. And it's taken a few years for them. I dropped the clothing line because it got too expensive. And then I met someone who now wants to help me resurrect it. So I'm kind of doing that, and I'm doing the cooking, but I've got the record as the main thing, obviously. And so there's lots of things going on. It's like a bubbling stock pot.
I got you. Any acting?
No, they just come along. It's like the buses in England. You just stand there and you don't know what's happening. Then suddenly 3 things come along. So patiently waiting. I did do a few auditions I didn't get, which was annoying. But No, I haven't got much time now. I'm pretty booked until December, really. Well,
Yeah.
till January, really. So anyway, but I'm not. When Scorsese calls, the rest of you all are like, you know what I mean. I'm gonna have to talk to you later.
Nice. Well, Gavin, the Art of Survival comes out on October 7th. Of course, we'll see here in a few weeks with Alice in Chains and Frankie Benjamin. And it's always great to talk to you. Thank you for the time.
I got to tell you, it's always great to come to Detroit. It's some of the best, probably the best place in America to play. It's what reminds me the most of almost like Portuguese or Brazilian audiences. I don't know what is in the water there. I don't know what you guys eat that does this, but it is a fierce audience, fierce. Like when everyone's like jacked up to come to Detroit. I did not say that to every station I talk to. Like there's only time because there's only one Detroit. There's only one Detroit.
Well, that's true. And I guess to quote Ted Nugent, we work hard and play hard. I think that's kind of what makes it. Everyone's working so hard. And when it's time to play, it's time to play.
I don't know if Ted Nugent actually owns that phrase. He's allowed to repeat it.
I'll have to ask him. Gavin, thanks again.
Yeah, don't get me in trouble with Teddy.
We'll see you in a few weeks. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks a lot. All the best, man.